And welcome. It is 14th of March 2018 and it is 9 o'clock. Welcome to GCS2 News. Firstly, today we are going to be talking about the qualification updates that have come to the tournament this week. We have had some small revisions that will allow more players to play in GCS2. Let's get over to our second studio. The updates I am referring to, of course, are regarding the qualification process. As you may know, the qualification process is regarding 4 huge tournaments, 32 players in scope. That scope is now increasing. We're going to be seeing wildcard mini tournaments for everybody outside the 32 players. The idea of this is we're going to base that 32 player selection on who's the best in auto match and in past tournaments. So if you look at the bottom of this page down here, we've got the process for the selection. It's the best allied and axis rank, 30% each of that contributes, and then the best tournament rank. That'll give us a scope of 32 players. Everybody that doesn't meet that scope will then be divided up into 2 pools in what's going to be called the Wild Card Playoff. And the winners of these Wild Card Playoff tournaments will be able to play in the next qualifying tournament. So if you go a little bit further down on GCS2.org, you'll find on the Citadel tournament, there will be 2 wildcard entries and 30 ranked players. And then again, there'll be 2 wildcard playoff tournaments for everybody not in the 30, all the way until the last tournament, where there will just be 1 final tournament to decide the 8 players that will play in GCS2. More news. We also have more donators. People are continuing to donate to the Grand Championship Series 2 project. Most recently, players. We have had the Dark Lord Jesulin. He rises from his place in sunny Spain, and he has secret intents upon this tournament, it may seem. His first step is just to declare his support, a $15 donation. The Insane Clown Posse, the Insane Clan themselves are donating money into the tournament. Aim strong with the comment. The Insane Clan appreciates this community so much. There are many wonderful members in it, and we are happy to be part of that. Therefore, we would like to give back. DevM also making a bank deposit, coming back for this later. Cheeky face. Good from old DevM there. We've also got Legio IX Hispania showing that you can increase your donation target should you want to contribute more. Like a blood from a stone, this community will become, and the blood will sow the great seeds of a fantastic tournament. Fantastically, we've also had Momo for show, and he's a player that's donated $100 in, and that was his Twitch earnings. All of it's gone into its first check from Twitch, has gone into the Grand Championship Series 2. Big thanks to everybody that's donated. You may see in the news bottom third ticker the donators to date. Now, onto the player watch. This segment is going to show you some recent players that have shown a burgeoning activity level that is starting to increase in anticipation of the huge event coming in June and July, the qualification tournaments for GCS2. Some of those players are such as Von Ivan, who may be playing a lot of 2v2 at the moment, but is definitely playing a lot of 1v1 also off-stream. Him and Aimstrong have met numerous times, for example. He's met Price and a lot of NA players, most recently last night. And he's looking strong. His standings are quite strong. He's, of course, #1 Soviet. I do believe that's the longest somebody has been at #1 in a faction in Company of Heroes 2 history, so credit to him there. Talisman. News on this guy from Finland, professional Overwatch player. He has requested 144 Hz monitors for GCS2. We have it from AE, the organizer, that he'll see what he can do. And that's a little bit of a statement of intent. Talisman is serious about this tournament. He has also requested about mouse space size. His ranks aren't his strong suit. He's all about the scrims and bringing it to a tournament event, saying that his ranks aren't too bad either. Onwards and upwards, Jesulin is now active once more in 1v1 auto match. He's a little bit bitty at the moment. He's trying to get his form back, recently beating Hooligan, Steffenbeck, Caesar, and Armstrong in auto match, he's seemingly starting to ferment into what could be a lovely Spanish wine. Devon and his compatriot Armstrong are also active once more. They have been active for the past month in auto match. Interestingly, they're both playing Soviets. If you check their most recent matches, we've got a lot of allied Soviet games from both players, all up and to the fore. This is an interesting facet of the Insane Clan right now. They seem to have switched allegiance from USF and Brits, respectively, for Devon and Armstrong. Interestingly, this has been noted by GCS1 champion Lovenest, who has said, a lot of people copying my strats recently. Well, maybe this time they are insane enough to take one game off me. That's right, maybe this time they are insane enough to take one game off me. I don't know what he means by that. Could mean anything. But maybe he could mean the fact that he actually beat those players without losing a single game in the GCS1 tournament. Onwards to further players. Loveness himself is incredibly rusty at the moment. He hasn't quite gotten back into action, but saying that, when he does play, he doesn't tend to lose. Nagano does have an interesting idea of coming to the UK to play in GCS2. He's going to make it his intent and purpose to finally play in a Company of Heroes 2 event that has a live final, or in this case, a live tournament, and he's going to try his best. However, Theresa May today has declared in the House of Commons that Company Heroes 2 players will find it difficult, in her words, to come to England to play in Grand Championship Series 2. And she has done this because of some nerve gas thing. I don't understand fully. Something went on there. But the real ramifications of it, of course, are possible for visa applicants coming into the country in the summer. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Other players, helping hands. He's got a lot of statements of intent right now. Not necessarily in his auto match ranks, but in his 2v2 play with Devon. He wants to win the Ultimate Team tournaments. J for Jet, he's one to watch in my mind. He's getting increasingly good. And there you go. Onwards to other facets of the news bulletin after this from our sponsors. Hello and welcome back. Interestingly, the strategies and meta for Company of Heroes 2 are still settling after the huge winter balance patch update. There is also some rumours of future community patching in the future, of course, and it's interesting to see how the factions are adapting and changing. A lot of players are currently stating that they believe in 1v1 at the top level. Axis have somewhat of a competitive edge, saying that Soviets are still looking strong, with developing strategies based on Lovenest's 2016 play, but more developed for the recently buffed conscripts. We're seeing a lot of 4 conscripts into Tier 2, with a T70 following up. OKW, of course, have had a huge meta shift from the Lukes, with its new 90-second build time. 80-second possibly. It's now taking a lot longer to come onto the field, which has had a huge meta shift onto the flak half-track from the battle grouper. This is all to be expected with such changes, but nobody was quite anticipating how prominent the flak half-track would be. United States and Brits have taken a little bit of a back foot in general to Soviet play in 1v1, it would seem, and Wehrmacht are similar, especially against Soviet snipers, which are a constant source of indignity, but then again, the Wehrmacht mortar is as powerful as ever. On to new info on the tournament live event, and the new info is that the hotels are booked for the players, and a huge thanks to everybody that has contributed to us meeting our milestone of $8,000 as we live and breathe. That's a huge accomplishment, and we champion it together. It doesn't quite say there, but it is $8,309 as I live and breathe. So big thanks to all donators. Big and small, every single penny is counted, and every single penny will contribute to GCS2 being the greatest tournament for Company of Heroes 2. And on to our last item, Q&A. But before that, I'd just like to say that everybody that wants to attend the live event, it will be $150 donator privilege. And it's because we are limited to 40 live attendees. If you really do want to attend the live event, but you can't quite muster the funds, you have just under 6 months to accumulate the funds by donating to the GCS2.org website. This isn't me, the project trying to dredge blood from you. This is just a notice that if you really want to attend and it's your goal for the summer, you can do that in smaller installments. It doesn't have to be $150 straight up. And especially that goes out to people living in the UK. $150 is £112. GCS2 will be comparable to a music festival in quality and entertainment, and it'll actually end up being cheaper. So it's a full weekend of live entertainment featuring your favourite Company of Heroes 2 players. It's literally a once-in-a-lifetime event. And on to questions and answers. That's where we're going to invite the tournament organizer AE to answer any questions fielded from Twitch chats that you may have about the tournament, the qualification process, the competitive side of things, donating, the event itself, or anything else related to GCS2. Over to you, the chat. Should probably put some cheesy lift music on at this point. I am waiting for questions quite literally. This is becoming incredibly awkward as we wait. Sodolio is now giving his emotes. There are no questions, it would seem. Do you think Axis needs some buff? I'm going to have to cut this. Are any players excluded? Comes from Control Lock. Right now, there is a rule on the tournament website that should give you the information you need. It's purposely vague, and it's purposely vague for a reason. So let me show you that rule right now. Understand that players with past behaviour of confirmed cheating, for example map hacking, are denied entry. Players that have trolled in tournaments or broken minor rules can be given conditional entry, provided they assist with the project. Please contact the organisers for further information. And I think that should explain what we're intended there. It's on a player case-by-case basis. But if you've trolled in past tournaments and you think you might be ineligible for entry because of it, I'd just urge you to contact the organisers and we'll see what we can do. Sidolia's asked about specific players. I don't want to get into specific players. Barton absolutely can play. Prodigali, I do believe, is actually banned on his primary account at the moment. But as I say, it's all judged on a case-by-case basis, and it's probably better to keep it to PMs, to be honest. When will start Mega 1v1 tournament? Negan asks. Well, the qualification tournaments actually start in mid-June. So we're going to have 4 huge qualification tournaments and 6 wildcard playoffs whilst these go on. And that's going to give you the 8 players. And the live tournament itself, aka the Mega Tournament, will be on the 15th and 16th of September in Manchester, England. What happened to my nose? I think I scratched it on my glasses or in my sleep. I don't remember. I honestly don't know. I hope it's not a facial defect. Bend over like a man. Want to be my friend? It's what do you offer me in this friendship? Has been my first question. Will Dane be casting a game or other casters, says Control Lock. Dane will be casting. I've already asked him. He enjoyed casting last year. He cast some of the earlier rounds. And this year he'll have the opportunity to cast the quarter-finals up until the semi-finals themselves. But that leaves plenty of incredible players playing one another in intense competitive action for him and Romeo to cast live, and anybody else for that matter. We've also already got Pompey and Tomikaze looking to cast together. Are you pregnant? Is a call. I am not pregnant, but thank you. No tea party invitation. No, I'm sorry about that. Just one moment of happiness is what I'm being offered, so fair enough. Anyone from going to be there from Maximum Capacitors? By that, I presume you mean Relic. I have invited them. We'll have to wait and see wait to see if they can get the budget. But as you can understand, for a 5-year game, they don't have much budget for KO2 related activities, so it probably is a no-go. Sedolia says, will there be a dress code for the live event? Just not naked, covering all of your genitals. But other than that, no, there will be no dress code. Rosbone says, I've skipped his question. If the $150 and up donators do not go to the tourney, is there a plan on how those unused seats will be given out? Absolutely. I mean, I urge you to donate what you can to the GCS2 project. Looking to try and get to 12k at the moment. And it will still be tight. Honestly, you'd be surprised to see how quickly player travel can eat up a budget. But yeah, the unused seats would probably in that case be offered in a downwards trajectory from 150 downwards to like the next largest donators. And that's how it would work. And then at last second, contingency plan would be anybody in the UK that's a KO2 benefactor fancy come to the tournament, you can come. But that's contingency planning, the only way to guarantee yourself a place. And this applies to my dad, by the way. My dad had to donate $150. Well, he didn't have to, he wanted to, but he asked me, how can I come? And I said that. So I'm not in a position to offer my friends a free place. There's 40 places at GCS2 for fans. There's going to be players on top of that. It's going to be not cramped, but it's the venue manager's decision to limit it at that. And it's so, they can protect the venue. Got more questions. Actually, decent questions coming in. Now, what happens when you can't get to the finals while being one off the top 8? Well, you're not in the tournaments. The tournaments is in the September, on the 15th and the 16th. We're giving all players within certain criteria a chance to be in the tournament. So just to clarify very quickly, the criteria have now been specified as having an average rank across your top Allied and Axis faction of 150 or below. So if you've got a Soviet and Wehrmacht rank, that's 149 and 151. That'll give you 150, so you'll be allowed in the tournament based on that. So it's just the average of the top one of each. At least 400 hours in KO2 and playing on your primary KO2 account. And over 10 completed 1v1 auto match games between May the 1st and June the 10th. So that's 6 weeks to play auto match to completion 10 times, but 5 on each of your top factions. And that's so your ladder ranks are actually judgeable, because DK is only 5% in KO2, and it's not quite enough. Any more questions there? Will you invite Cynthia to come? I don't believe she's part of KO2. Are Asian players allowed to enter? Asian players are allowed to enter. And to be honest, your numbers are pretty sound there, in all honesty. Currently got provisions to say that non-European budget can't eat up more than 12%. So if it was somebody from like Thailand, for example, we'd probably have to come to an agreement that if you really want to come to play in this tournament, not the finals, the tournament, because GCS2 is in September, you probably have to, help us with the costs a little bit. Will our mic work this time? Absolutely. We're in a world-class, state-of-the-art music recording studio, and the venue holders are primarily fully focused in helping us with this. It's Ed 80 Hertz and his brother that are now really good friends of us, and they've offered us this. Ed himself was at GCS1 Live last year, so our mics will absolutely work this time. Audio won't be the problem, and to be honest, because we've had 8 months to work on it, it's going to be fine. Priced ask if him, Barton and Proddy will be able to play again. Don't want to talk about specific players. The rule is in the GCS rules at the top in the agreement section. It's all on a case-by-case basis whether people that have trolled significantly in the past will be allowed to play in the tournament. What's the venue name? I'm not actually completely understanding whether I'm able to promote the venue name fully quite yet. I'm going to allow the venue owners to do that if they want. Barton is allowed to play in the tournament, by the way. But as I say, it's not about trolls and people that bring attention to themselves for negative purposes. It's about celebrating the best players in the world that play. And that's exactly what I like to focus on at all times. I'm making league, not like an elimination. The quarter-final, I believe you possibly mean the qualifiers there. Well, there is a league element to the qualifiers, so you'll be pleased to know. So, I don't know if you've read the website. GCS2.org is the website's name. But if you go to qualifiers there, we've recently renovated this page. And basically, the top... Hang on, which is the bit... Yeah, sorry. The 8 qualification places are the winners of the 4 tournaments. And then we've got a point system underlying that. So if you're not winning these tournaments, you're accumulating points. And we'll take the top 3 on points into the GCS2 tournament. And then the 8th person will be... the next 3 on points will give the benefactors a vote out of those 3 players who they want to come. So the benefactors have some influence. So that'll be pretty cool. But as you say, the point system works as such. You know, if you get second place in a quali, you'll get 12 points, and it goes down in 3s from there. So just go to gcs2.org for all info on that one. Oh, wrong scene there. Tobis asks, will we be playing on the live patch or potential for a tweak mod? To be honest, the game isn't quite as bad as it was in the build-up to GCS1, which I believe we considered a tweak mod for until Relic told us they'd patched the game, which was lovely. We patched the Command Panther, made it to 13 CPs. It was 12 at the time. We patched the Maxim, which was horrendous at the time. It was the era when it had the small cone of fire and the super suppression, etc. So it's not quite that bad right now, in all honesty. And to be honest, because we want Auto Match to be a direct replica of tournament play as much as possible, I'm not too sure on that. Saying that, there is possibly another patch coming for all we know, and that could break the game. So who knows? We might have to do one if that was the case. Hey, why didn't you make the call? Yeah, we've read that one. Why do you keep digging Code 2 out of its grave? Just let the poor bastard rest in peace. I love that. That's funny. If you live in the UK, is the final cheaper? Well, it's cheaper to travel there. It's no cheaper to be there. What's your plan, players? What's your plan for players from Russia now the UK and Russia's are in a new Cold War? I'm hoping, based on the World Cup, that there'll be a precedent set for travel from both countries. And based on that, we'll make a judgment, probably. The words to Nagano and Jove, because that's mostly who we're talking about, but also you've got Brosras and Co to think about, is play, try and get a visa sorted, make sure your passport's up to date, and play with the intent to come to GCS2. There'll be no impediment from us. We'll pay for your travel if you can prove that you can come here. And if you need somebody to vouch for you, like with customs, etc., we'll be there. Well, I'll be there or whatever to sign anything or absolutely give people assurance that you're coming into England for the right reasons and not to nerve gas anybody. No, that was not Nagano joke. That is. It's just that was a joke. Yeah, it's not pound. It's dollars. £112 in UK money. I think that's pretty much it. I think we've had a lot of questions there, and there's only one thing left to do, and that's for me to sign off. So thank you everybody for tuning in for GCS News. If you've missed it, the good bits at the start, if there were any, I'm going to upload it to YouTube in about 5 minutes. So thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.